Hello there, wellness entrepreneur. Welcome back. If you've ever thought my work is too deep or complex for a 10-second Instagram reel, or that the wellness space is way too saturated on Instagram for you to make an impact, to sign clients, to grow your own audience, this episode is going to flip everything you think you know about marketing and Instagram and your work online. Because no one's telling you the amount of time that you've been a practitioner, it's not a disadvantage on Instagram or any social media platform. In fact, it's exactly what makes you unforgettable in the sea of surface level wellness content of everyone saying the same thing like drink more water. Here's what's missing in your menopause relief program. And having depth will set you apart. It's knowing how to explain your depth or write your messaging in a relatable way that your audience understands and not so much in the practitioner language. And when you nail that, when your audience understands your messaging, when they hear your story and relate to it, this will be actual proof because they'll start messaging you, they'll start commenting on your post, you start getting more consultations and clients booking off of Instagram, and you'll have confirmation that people are desperately seeking what you offer. So, today we're diving into why your complex, nuanced work is exactly what Instagram is hungry for, and the simple framework to communicate this work in a way that has your ideal client saying, "Oh, finally, someone understands what I'm going through. She gets it," or, "Oh, that's a perspective I haven't heard about. I think I want to hear more." Or, "This might be the missing link that I need." So, let's paint a picture. You've spent years, maybe decades, mastering your craft. You're a yoga therapist who understands the intricate connection between trauma and the nervous system, or the nuanced details between the nervous system, fascia, and pain, or mindset and pain, for example. Or you're a physical therapist who sees patterns that offer people miss. For example, maybe you work with runners. I have a client, she works with runners, and she often will find missing patterns that other practitioners have missed in her runners that are causing pain or ankle issues, for example, or knee and hip issues. That's actually not the knee or hip issue. And not only do they heal their injury because their alignment and the form is better, they increase or decrease, I should say, their race times and improve their PR standings. Or maybe you're a massage therapist who can read a body's story through touch, or you're an intuitive body worker. Your work creates profound, lasting transformation. But when you sit down to create an Instagram post, you freeze trying to get it all out of your brain. I totally understand. I've been there. As you know, I've been a wellness practitioner for over 20 years. I have a lot of certifications. In fact, I'm going through another one right now. I'll be sitting for the wellness certification board soon. Not so much that I'm going to be taking on new wellness clients, but it's so I can better coach my business coaching clients. And also, I've been getting opportunities to teach in wellness certifications and programs, and passing the board gives me some leverage there for more opportunities. So I'm always going through certifications and then bringing that work into my reels. I remember when I would sit down to try to make one reel, I'd have all this information that I'd want to share, and I'd try to jam pack it into one reel. And that's often where I got stuck. I literally felt like this information wanted to explode out of me. So it's learning how to explain the subtlety, for example, of the nervous system and fashion in a caption, or capturing the complexity of what happens when someone finally releases decades of held tension that was contributing to their sciatica or back pain. How do you communicate the art of reading energetic patterns in a 10-second or less reel? So you do one or two things. You either don't post at all or you dumb it down so then your work doesn't stand out in a saturated wellness space, because there are a lot of practitioners on Instagram and you start sounding exactly like everyone else talking about mindfulness and self care and drinking more water. or here's my schedule. And then you look around on Instagram and think, there are already so many wellness accounts. Everyone's a yoga teacher or a health coach. How can I possibly stand out? Here's what's really happening. You're not seeing the forest from the trees. You think your depth makes you invisible when it actually makes you irreplaceable. I'll say that again. Your depth is what makes you irreplaceable because no one has this unique combination of your life experience, your own health journeys and transformations, whether they're small or large or both, and your unique expertise of all your certifications and trainings. No one has that unique combination, and no one will teach or help your clients the way that you do. And here's what's going to change everything for you. Instagram isn't looking for more surface level wellness content. It's starving for practitioners who can go deep. In fact, the potential wellness clients on Instagram right now are hungry for connection. They're hungry for relatability, and they are hungry for answers with some cleverness or some funny lightheartedness to bring a smile upon their day and maybe make their day a little bit easier. So, the uncomplexity is a feature for you. Your years of training, your ability to see what others missed, your nuanced understanding of healing, this is exactly what makes you different in the saturated marketplace. So let's get into the framework on how to bring your complex and all your information in this nuanced way of helping people onto the platform. There's three facets or three parts that you can use in your content. Number one is a bridge connecting complex concepts to simple human experiences. Number two is the story. So, using narrative, whether it's your story or your client's stories, to make intangible transformations or changes tangible. And an invitation, creating curiosity that leads to deeper conversations and messages started. Let me show you. Let's break it down. Okay. The first part, the bridge. So, for example, you're going to connect complex concepts to the simple human experience. What does this mean? So, instead of saying fascial adhesions and explaining the inner workings and the cobweb network system of fascia, you say, you know, that moment when you're trying to get comfortable in bed, but no matter how you position yourself, your body feels rigid and uncomfortable, like you're wearing a wetsuit that's 3 sizes too small. You're actually describing a moment in their day to day where someone can see a reel or a carousel and say, oh my gosh, that is totally me. I want to learn more about that. Why does that happen to me? And what can I do to solve it? So you're bridging your technical knowledge to their 9 p.m. bedtime struggle there. And all you need to do is use AI to create a hook that'll capture their intention. And then you can describe that moment in a concise, a clever or a bold or a controversial or a funny type of way. And then in the caption, maybe you break down the actual science or anatomy about fascia and connect it to your work in a little bit more detail or give them some quick wins there with a follow. That can be one example of a type of content. And you just use 5 or 6 second B roll type video of you in bed trying to get comfortable, for example, with a hook, or you can make it funny and use AI to help you there. So that's one example. Another part, the story, and that's using the narrative to make the intangible tangible. So you're not just explaining these big, elusive terms like health and wellness transformation, or let's change our habits, or transform your healthy lifestyle. All of that are big concepts, is easy to scroll by because it's not capturing attention because someone can't actually picture or envision what does changes in a healthy lifestyle actually mean? What habits do they actually need to change? And what does habit changing mean specifically? It sounds uncomfortable and hard, really. So it's easy to swipe by again on the platform. But if you bring it into a story format, again, it makes it more relatable and tangible. So, for example, Lisa came to me every morning when her alarm went off. She lied there for like 10 minutes, just dreading to move. Her body felt so stiff and heavy, like she was 90 years old instead of 35. She was exhausted and sore. and cranky trying to get out of bed. After we released those deep fascial restrictions, she texted a video of herself jumping out of bed saying, I haven't felt this light in my body since I was a teenager. Now your complex work has a face and it connects to their morning routine. Instead of just saying, change your morning routine or wake up morning routine, these more generic phrases, now they can actually visualize that story of Lisa dreading to get out of bed or having difficulty getting out of bed because she was so sore, to now Lisa jumping out of bed. And again, if Lisa was telling her story on camera, you could for sure cut it up and use that in a B-roll or in stories or as a reel or in your stories. Or if Lisa doesn't feel comfortable being on camera, you can use your own B-roll clips and just ask her permission to share her story. Or if you have a health story, you share that part. And that becomes more relatable and scroll stopping, especially again, if you add an enticing hook in the beginning. And again, you can go deeper into the story in the caption. Now, part or method number 3 is the invitation, creating curiosity that leads to deeper conversation. So you can create content that is intriguing, that makes them want more. So if you're someone who dreads that first step out of bed in the morning because your body feels concrete, there might be something deeper going on. DM me morning and I'll share one assessment that reveals if your stiffness is actually trapped emotions. So that example is intriguing. It'll start conversation because they DM you morning, or you could say comment below for the morning routine to get out of bed where your body doesn't feel like concrete or sore. And there's all kinds of ways that you could add a hook. The one mistake I used to make when I woke up every morning feeling sore and had difficulty getting out of bed, or take me an hour or more to actually get out of bed and get moving without any pain or something like that. These are all created on the fly, but you can see that it's capturing that one moment in the morning where someone's having difficulty getting out of bed and putting an intriguing spin on it because it's creating curiosity. What is that deeper thing going on? Or you could give some different examples of what might be going on. You can say, some of my clients have autoimmune issues. Some of my clients have fascial restrictions, right? You see, there's different ways to address the same topic from different perspectives. Here are some other concrete examples to get your brain thinking of the bridge, the story, and the invitation. So, for example, another bridge, you know, that 3 p.m. slump when you're sitting at your desk and suddenly your neck feels like it weighs 50 pounds and you have to reach for that sugary snack or that caffeinated beverage just so to help you hold your head up. Or the story. My client Jennifer was a marketing director who'd get to 3 p.m. every day and feel like her head was going to fall off her shoulders. Turns out it just wasn't tech neck. Turns out her cervical spine was compensating for unresolved whiplash from a fender bender 2 years earlier. After we addressed the real issue, she texted me, I worked a 12-hour day yesterday and my neck still feels normal. This is a miracle. That story is so relatable because how many people have been in car accidents and feel like there's lingering injuries that haven't healed fully? You're going to speak to those people and capture those attention. Now, an invitation example. If your afternoon neck pain feels inevitable, like it's just part of having a desk job, comment neck. I'll share the simple test that tells you if it's actually old trauma or that your body never fully processed. Now, here are the benefits of implementing this type of content. So, bringing out the depth of your expertise and differentiating you in a saturated wellness marketplace. Your depth will become your differentiator. When you learn how to translate your deep work, you will immediately stand out from generic wellness content. While everyone is posting the same drink more water advice, you're going to be the practitioner explaining someone's chronic dehydration, what it feels like in their day to day. And they might not even realize that they're dehydrated because you're explaining a symptom that they never fully understood why it was happening. And that light bulb moment of being like, oh, that's why I feel that way. I'm actually dehydrated or I'm overhydrated. And they will thank you for that. They will trust you more and they'll keep coming back to your content for more insights and wins just like that. If you have a symptom or a problem or a way that you help people, ask yourself, what does this mean for my client's daily life? Pick a moment in the day, 7 a.m., at lunchtime, middle of the day. Ask yourself, how do they feel in that moment? What are they actually experience? and keep going till you get details. And again, you can put all that into AI and ask it to come up with some 10-second or less B-roll type reels with hooks, and then work on the caption and bring more details into the caption. When you do this, you'll start attracting wellness clients off Instagram who understand your work and the benefits of what you do. And they'll start to ask serious questions about working with you, like details about your program or what's covered in your program. Or they'll start saying, I think I need to work with you. And that means that they're coming prepared, already valuing and understanding how you're different from other people. And here's something counterintuitive. When you speak to the complexity of healing, you attract people who are ready for the real transformation because a lot of times they've tried surface level approaches. And because your content is deeper, they'll be hungry for more from you specifically. Here's an iceberg method to help you. Share the tip of the iceberg in your post. So, the relatable symptom, that moment in their day to day where they're struggling. Hint at what's beneath the surface, your deeper understanding, but you don't have to get into that deeper understanding in the content. You just invite them to explore the depths with you in a consultation, in a session, in a workshop, or event, or a retreat. So, again, that's creating curiosity and it leaves them wanting more. So they do take that next step. With all this, saturation becomes irrelevant because here's the truth, there are thousands of yoga teachers, health coaches, practitioners on Instagram. But how many can explain the neurophysiology of why child's pose makes some people panic? There are tons of massage therapists online, but how many understand the emotional patterns held in different muscle groups? Your specific combination of depth, experience, and perspective, that is unique. That is rare. You just have to learn how to position those perspectives, your insights, your knowledge in a way that's digestible for your audience to stop the scroll and start consuming your content. And for me personally, all this helped with knowing what to say and getting over some of the imposter syndrome or perfectionistic mindset blocks that would hold me back, like, oh, I don't feel like dancing, I'm not funny enough, all the things that come up when you're trying to create content and feeling stuck. Or I have a doctorate in physical therapy. I don't want to post superficial tips or sound like anyone else. But the truth is when I was posting too detailed, too complex, all I got was crickets. People scrolled by and I was stuck in 200 views a reel or 5 likes on a carousel post. My client Jenna, who just started working with me, we started working on this for herself because she has a wealth of knowledge, but she was questioning how to get it all out and how to stand out as a yoga teacher and practitioner with a lot of skills in a place where people are talking a lot about nervous system, relaxation, gut health, and so much more. So, together we made a plan. I created a content plan using her information and the knowledge we brought out about her ideal client struggles and the work she did and gave her different topic ideas and hooks. Now she's posting and she said that she's never had so much engagement or likes or views. So you can really turn around your Instagram from quiet to more engaged rather quickly, just in a matter of a few weeks by posting consistently and relating to your audience. So get out there, give one of those three different strategies a try. The bridge, the story, the invitation. Try one this week, try one next week, and another the week after. Or if you're feeling bold, try one 3 days this week. So Monday, do the bridge, Wednesday, do the story, and Friday, do the intriguing invitation. And see what happens. Let me know. DM me on Instagram. I love to hear. You can do this. Bring out your personality, make it fun. Just remember, think one problem and how your work will help, but you don't have to get into the nuances of your work in the actual reel. You can do it in the caption if you want, but you're really just speaking to that one problem at one moment of your ideal client's day to day. Okay, get out there, have some fun, and let me know how it goes.